our viewers should know by now the importance for sunflower oil and agriculture more generally of this Ukrainian region, of the Russian region, for wheat exports and what have you as well. But the longer term effects for investors are harder to work out because, as you know better than anyone, being a tourist in agricultural commodities, in soft commodities, is notoriously dangerous.
Mm. Yeah, it's a very tough sector to begin with. And, personally, I spent a lot of time in Ukraine and I had great hopes for the agricultural sector there. And it was really starting to become a powerhouse again. I mean, let's not forget that, Ukraine and Russia, that Black Earth region, which is something around 80 million, hectares, is the breadbasket, the historical breadbasket. And the fact that this invasion has come around is really, really is horrible. And it's going to, unfortunately, mean that, exports from that region, which are vital and critical to a lot of countries, particularly developing countries in Africa, Egypt, Turkey, you name it, they're going to have to search for alternative food sources. And I'm afraid these price hikes are going to be here to stay for a while.
But there is always a planting season. There is always an opportunity for farmers who have a tough job of it, let's be honest about it, to plant more aggressively. Is that not going to be a solution that American farmers, that global farmers can fall back on, or not really this time?
Yeah, absolutely. There are solutions. When you take a major player like that, out of the market, obviously there's an adjustment process, and hopefully that's going to be somewhat. Well, hopefully the crop production there will recover, or the ability to export, is going to recover. Let's see what happens with this conflict. But clearly, other countries can take market share. We can, try to redistribute some of the wasted food. There's, we estimate that in the United States alone, there's something like 30 or 40% of the food is actually wasted. We can look at changing mix rates or eliminating some of the biofuel policies, which I think are very questionable in terms of their coherence in the first place. So there are solutions. But going into this, the industry was already having relatively low stock to use ratios. That means that's the inventory expressed in percentage of consumption. So it was a pretty tight market already. So it's not going to be easy.
If our audience want to invest in the product curve to make money from this, what should they actually be buying, Coast? Because obviously you could go to the source and buy agricultural or commodity ETPs or ETFs. But my sense is that the fat part of the profit curve won't actually be in the origination of the grain or the wheat or the barley, whatever. It'll be in the processing, or it'll be in the final retailing of a breakfast cereal or a product. What companies do I want to own if I'm a believer in a new super cycle for agricultural commodities?
Yeah, that's the question. I've been a big believer in what we like to refer to today as the new food revolution, right? So, if we go back in history, we had the Green Revolution, which was in the 60s and 70s. And that was all about, producing more food. It was investing in fertilizers and machinery and, agricultural inputs, maybe, in some crops themselves. Today, it's a little bit different. We have an incredible innovation underway. Not only in ag tech, but also in the regenerative farming movement, which I think is something that, it was a little bit on the fringe, 20 or 30 years ago to talk about regenerative farming or organic, cropping and things like that. But today we realize that it's absolutely necessary. We just can't continue, to destroy our soils the way we've been doing. And so there are some companies out there which are leading that movement. For example, the U.S.-based Indigo AG, one of the leaders, it's still a private company, but I would point investors more. We can obviously you can look at this shock which has taken place and say I'm going to put money in agricultural commodities directly. But I think the more exciting story is the what's around the food revolution. The fact that in 10 or 15 years, probably a lot of the protein is going to come from fermented processes, which is the lab-based meat and things like that. We've already seen a pretty significant growth in the plant-based protein alternative space. You know, imagine that 15, 20 years ago, hardly anyone was drinking almond milk, and today it's like 15% of the market. So, you know, this market has grown, and we're going to see other segments grow like that.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.